Hey YouTube, coming at you with a KANTO Ninetales analysis on Scorching Sands or whether it is better to run either Psyshock or what I've always run is Overheat. So first, I have Fire Spin on mine. I do think Ember in this scenario is probably better at this point. If you're running Ember, you probably almost never run Overheat. You would run Psyshock. If you run Fire Spin, I think Overheat is the right move because Fire Spin just generates energy faster, and then Overheat is such a nuke, especially with a stab on it, right? For only 55 energy for 130 damage plus stab, is just like straight domination. Like it's even in resisted matchups, you're still doing like 50% minimum. That being said, it got the new move Scorching Sands, which has been quite a good move overall. 50 energy for 80 damage. What it comes down to for the moves is how do you use this Pokemon? So what's your fast move first? How do you want to use this Pokemon? On your team. And do you think the coverage is worth it, or are you okay throwing resisted moves, right? So if you look at the problem with Overheat was it lowers your attack substantially. So you can nuke, but then it lowers your attack substantially, so you have to like reset or just it's your last move. So for me, having that was always great because it was always a threat for like every single Pokemon. Again, 130 damage plus stab, you can one shot basically between the Fire Spins and Overheat. You would one shot a Medicham, right? It was just a one shot machine, so I loved using it. Scorching Sands, what this does is it gives you a quicker move, barely 50 versus 55 energy, so it's not even that much faster. It's one Fire Spin faster, but also gives you just like coverage. So there were like, I think there's only like one or two times where like I wouldn't have got to the Overheat that I'd get to the Scorching Sands, which is nice. But where it also comes into play is like if you're like mid match and you don't want to throw a Weather Ball, throwing the way harder hitting Scorching Sands in neutral matchups. I remember going against an Umbreon, I think, in these battles, where I throw like a Weather Ball first and then I throw the Scorching Sand second. It's like, oh yeah, this does substantially more. And obviously it's more energy, right? But it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I can see this here. In terms of like using it for more coverage, sure. Like I said, even throwing resisted Overheat still is going to do a ton of damage. And actually, let me just bring this up. I don't know if I can bring it up on the screen here. We are going to do this live together. But basically, so this is what I did with Galvantula. The Galvantula matchup resisted close combat, just to show if I'm running a Shadow Ninetales and shields are down against a resisted Pokemon. Let's go with a water that is not... let's go just with like Politoed because I can't, or Poliwrath. Poliwrath is fine, or Politoed, whatever. Because I can't do Scorching Sands against Lantern because that's super effective. So of course they're going to say go Scorching Sands. So if I have Scorching Sands and Overheat, 1 damage for... Oh no, they actually get to an Earthquake to take me out. So one, let's just see this. So Scorching Sands on a Politoed does, it says 60 damage for 42%. Where if I don't have that, so 60 damage, 42%. If I throw a resisted Overheat, it does 72 damage for 51%. So again, all things equal, you're still wanting to throw that nuke. Again, the trade-off is less energy on the Scorching Sands that you can maybe get to a Weather Ball. Don't lower your attack substantially. So let's look at some battles. In conclusion, I don't know. In conclusion, I don't know with Fire Spin. For Scorching Sands over Psyshock, I think Scorching Sands is just a much better move in general. I think Ground has more play in this meta, right? With all the steals and Lantern as an electric. I think Scorching Sand just has better play in general. You lose coverage against Dragon, flyers in particular. So Altaria, Dragonite, ground and fire is resisted. So Psyshock would be better there. But at that point, I would just say Overheat would be better than Scorching Sands too. So if you want sort of the ability to throw that, sure, Psyshock, but I think Scorching Sands is probably the better move with Ember. With Fire Spin, I'm not sold that I like Scorching Sands better than just having a straight Overheat nuke, quite honestly. And this is someone who's played Ninetales since like season 2 or 3 and has been one of the mascots of this channel for a long, long time. I just think that even in resisted matchups, Overheat does better, and Overheat in neutral matchups with Stab, again, I've been able to one-shot Medicham and a bunch of other Pokemon. So if you play it with Energy Generation of Fire Spin, getting shields down, yes, you're going to get walled by water, but even if you had, like, Scorching Sands won't help me here, right? Against this flyer, I might as well just have a nuke of a move that would do better. If you're already going to be limited and it's not going to substantially alter the outcome of the matchup, I would just rather have a Pokemon that hits super, super hard in neutral matchups as opposed to just having like a slight cover move. Now that's with Fire Spin. With Ember, Ember has higher damage for lower energy generation. So the odds that you get to the Overheat with Ember as well is a lot trickier than with Fire Spin. So if I were to run Ember, I think Scorching Sands is probably the better move because you're probably not making it to an Overheat much. And that's why on PV Poke, even before Scorching Sands, the recommended moveset for Ember was Weather Ball and Psyshock. You get a little bit of coverage move, plus the chances that you get to an Overheat are pretty rare with a Shadow running Ember. So that would be my take on this moveset and the moveset with Ninetales. I actually, because right now, so this is like a rank, I don't even know, it's a 1, 15, 12. It's a pretty high ranked Shadow. And I'm like, oh, I really don't want to TM Ember on this. And then I was looking and I have like a 4, 13, 15, something like that, Shadow Ninetales that has Ember on it. So I'm going to build it up, and maybe one video later in the season, I'm going to run both. I'm going to run Fire Spin, Weather Ball, Overheat here, and then I'm going to run Ember, Weather Ball, Scorching Sands on the second one. And I'll just give you analysis, because my analysis for moves is what I just said there. Fire Spin, go Overheat, Ember, go Scorching Sands. But I want to put that into practice. But Ninetales is still good. Again, if you haven't used it before, we'll have to see. It's still tricky. It's still tricky now. So the problem is, I always used it even before. So for those of you who are new to this channel, because there's a bunch of new people, welcome to the channel. For those of you who, because this is probably a matchup where I would want an Overheat. Either being able to bait Weather Ball and go Overheat, or just going straight Overheat and grabbing a shield, as opposed to this one where I'm just going to have to go like 2 Weather Balls. See, I'm going up to it because I'm smart. I know that I can bait the Overheat here, and I may get a shield. But if I did have the move, what I could have done, they're just powering up punching, so maybe I couldn't have done it, but I'll probably just have to go Fire Spin here. Oh, no, I'll go Scorching Sands here. But had they not powered up punch or shielded, I could have got to an Overheat. But like, I got a shield against Medicham. I got a shield and took it down to the deep red. That's not bad. That is not bad. Right. So sorry, lost my train of thought. That happens. So if you're new to this channel, I was running KANTO Ninetales in like season 2 or 3, thinking like, this thing is like somewhat underrated. Like, this is a very strong Pokemon. And then the meta in like the mid 7, 8 season there switched to Walrein, Registeel, Trevenant, and I'm like, okay, so now my underrated Pokemon is now just like dominating. And it took people a long, long time to catch on. And then the wing attack buff happened, and Lanturns were everywhere, and that means Swamperts were everywhere. So between all the, and Altarias were a decent amount too, because they were like an answer to both Noctowl and Lantern. So I was like, between Altaria, Swampert, Quagsire started showing up everywhere. I'm just like, crap. And Trevenant got nerfed. So I'm like, so Ninetales kind of went away. Now they nerfed Lantern, which I will discuss in my video this afternoon, so stay tuned for that. So now they nerfed Lantern. Noctowl's not around anymore. They nerfed Altaria as well, so that's not around anymore. But Gligar is around more. And that has access to Dig, which will probably one-shot a Shadow Ninetales. Even a normal Gligar probably one-shots Ninetales here. And I'm sure a Shadow would one-shot with Dig. So that's unfortunate. But also a Sandslash is probably going to jump up more because people want an answer for... Because people are going to want an answer for Gligar. And Steelix, people are liking Steelix, and I would do very well against Steelix too with just fire, either Ember and Weather Ball or Fire Spin and Weather Ball. I would do very well against Steelix. So I think it has... I have a try-hard team coming with... maybe I won't have it on that one yet. But I think Ninetales with Powder Snow being able to do like okay against Metachamp, do decent, like great against Steelix because of the Dragon Tail, do good against Gligar, double super effective with Ice. So I think a Ninetales is going to come back more. So maybe Kanto Ninetales has a little more play this season. Again, it's very tough to figure out the meta when you're this early in the rankings and when people are just like trying Pokemon for the sake of trying Pokemon. But it's something on my mind as we get later in the season, thinking like, okay, if we just go to a tightened up meta in the 10 to 15 range, which is the bad Swampert, Lantern, Gligar, then the okay in sort of like even the Lickitung matchup's not bad, like Sableye, Lickitung, all the safe swaps, Sableye, Lickitung, like those are okay matchups. Metacham, okay, and then good Registeel, a Sandslash, Steelix. It may have more play this season, so we will see. This matchup is unfortunately bad because the Rock Slides come way too fast here, and I'm down a shield, so I'm not gonna have a chance to get out of this. So I just let the first one go because it does not matter. And I'm like, will I get to 3? It's like, no, I will not get the 3. Way too many fire spins to get there. So I'm just going to stop throwing, save us both time. Meganium. More grass. Superior. Meganium. They're not leaving. That was quick, so that was just a frenzy. Which again, still hurts. Metacham comes out, which I have an answer for this anyways. So I don't know. We'll see. We will see. And it's funny because you're going to hear this twice because I just filmed the afternoon's video first. Now I'm going to film this video in the morning. The new, I didn't even look up the name. The new Paladin, the new generation of Pokemon are coming to Pokemon Go. And I already know that all the content creators are going to put them out immediately and hype them up. And I know people have been liking this Beyond the Hype series, so I really, really, really want to do this Beyond the Hype series with these new Pokemon. I just don't know realistically if I will be able to do that. Maybe I can do it for Thursday. It's going to be tough because I actually have a fantasy football draft Wednesday night. So I need to try and shoot videos ahead because I got a fantasy football draft Wednesday night. I'm in the office all day Wednesday and I got fantasy football draft Wednesday night. And then Thursday, the last day before league turnover, Friday, which I need to do top team videos. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to cover them, but I want to cover them because I know people will be looking and I know that people are just gonna just like make them, pump them up. And I don't even know if they should be pumped up because I don't think their rankings are good on PvPoke. I think they all got like okay movesets, okay stats. So I just actually got to go down because I don't even know what the names are because I do not play really anything past red. So I'm already down to 97 and I have not seen a new name yet. Okay, I'm guessing this is a new one. Oh, this isn't even one of the starters. Oinkalone? Oinkalone? Tackle, Body Slam, Dig. Let me look at the stats on this thing first. Overall stat product, 2030. 110 attack, 110 defense, 166 stamina, 2030. You know what I could do though? Even if I don't have these in action, I can just do an analysis on these Pokemon. Just do this. 14 and 29 record. Oof. Oh, it's a normal typing, right? Normal typing, weak to fighting, tons of fighters in this. Okay stat product. Tackle, Body Slam, Dig. Not even a bad moveset. But 14 and 29 is just really, really bad. So yeah, you're probably not going to run that Pokemon. And that Pokemon's at 103 ranking. So where are the other ones? I hope I didn't miss them and I just didn't recognize the name. Because we're down in the 160s and I'm still not seeing these new Pokemon. Oh, here's one. Quilladin? Vine Whip, Body Slam, Energy Ball. 15 and 29. Stat product. Okay, just under 2,000. 115 attack, 129 defense, 129 stamina. Vine Whip, not bad energy generation. Energy Ball, obviously Body Slam spam, but Energy Ball, just no frenzy. Like, so why would you use this grass when you can go Vine Whip, Frenzy Plant, either Superior or Meganium is probably my thinking. 1529, Flyers, Ice, Steels, right? You have nothing for Steels, right? You can't throw because you don't have the Earthquake that Meganium has. You have Body Slam and Energy Ball, so you have nothing for Steels. You can just like outpaced by fighters, pure grass, but okay. So my first look, as I'm now getting down into like the 200s, my first look is that these new Pokemon probably are not going to be useful until they get some sort of move. So 209 Skeledirge. Someone did say because it has winning matchups against Metachamp and Sandslash, like hard wins, but it also has some hard losses here. So stat product is not as good. 121 attack, 109 defense, 139 stamina, 1840. So it's clearly a more attack heavy Pokemon. Incinerate, Shadow Ball, Disarming Voice is a crazy moveset. Fire Ghost with a Fire, Fairy, and Ghost moveset. So the Fire Ghost already I don't like because this thing must have like 15 weaknesses. I'm joking, but like Dark, Ghost, Ground, Rock, Water. Hello, can you talk about more of the freaking meta outside of fighting? Which I guess it does double resist fighting, so that's good. But there is Ghost everywhere, there's Ground everywhere, there's Rock everywhere, there's Water everywhere, there's a decent amount of Dark. Sure, you double resist fighting. So you're a great answer to Metachamp, right? That's why you beat it so hard. So good wins against like Metachamp, Defense Deoxys, anything that's weak to fire, like Frostlass, A9, Sandslash. But I guess you beat Registeel, but that's about where your wins end and these losses are. Boy. So for those of you who know the PV Poke skill, it goes from 0 to 1,000. 0 being like you have absolutely zero shot, you're going to get destroyed, and 1,000 being you're absolutely going to destroy them. So usually for the average Pokemon, you have like a couple bad ones in like the 200, and then like most of them are like 300-400s. This thing has Swampert, Lantern, Pelipper, Quagsire, Jellicent, Charizard, and Gligar below 200. And then Sableye, Carbink, Bastiodon, Diggersby in the 200s. And then Mandibles Noctowl Azumarill, Umbreon, Altaria, Dunsparce, Lickitung, Lantern, Mantine in the 300s. So no, this Pokemon is, and I know what they're gonna do because I already saw Yonkers do this. I'm sorry, I already saw Yonkers do this. He's like, great, core breaker in ASAN slash and Metachamps. Like, yes, 100%, it's a great core breaker, but it gets destroyed by 95% of the meta in this thing, so you can't use it. It's not usable. Okay, I'm gonna try and do analysis on these just to give you guys a realistic view of what's going on here. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for my all buffed and nerfed team this afternoon. Lantern, G-Fisk, and Golisopod. Full analysis on those three this afternoon. That's it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.